Hello and welcome to a session of Fit Essentials. My name is Shauna. I'll be guiding you through class. We're gonna go ahead and come on up to our feet. We will be doing some dips today. So if you wanna have a chair or a bench nearby and either some light dumbbells or if you wanna use a long band, we're gonna be using those also. And the short band here in the first part of the warm up, or you can just move as if you have the band. So totally optional. First things first, spinal cord breathing. Set your feet just underneath the hips. So if I were to like hop in place, that's where I want my feet. Toes pointing straight ahead. I'm gonna make a nice big opening through the shoulders, bring the forearms together, palms together. And now I'm gonna round forward, tucking the hips under, bringing the ribs down, chin to the chest. On the inhale, we're gonna open. Nice deep inhale, lift the chest, separate the arms, peer up towards the ceiling. And on the exhale, close it down. Nice smooth exhale. Blow the air out. Rounding through, and that's your cycle. Breathe and lift. You spend about a minute total here, give or take. Exhale, close. Best as able, try to breathe in and out of your nose here for the first part of this warm up. Good. Bring the shoulders down out of the ears as you open the chest. Spread the fingers nice and wide. 1 to 2 more cycles. Very good. Breathe in strength. Exhale any worry, concern, thoughts that you should be doing something else with your time right now. Just bring yourself into presence. Very good. Once you finish that last breath, go ahead and relax the arms down. Walk the feet just a little bit wider, just a little bit in those knees, and just nice and gentle. We're gonna start to pivot through the body. Little gates of heaven action here. Allow the arms to stay away from the body at first. And then when you're ready, start to get a little bit more swing through the hips. Let the arms bend at the elbows. Gently tap against the torso. And see if you can combine it with your exhale. So as the arms gently tap the body, exhale. Good. Just a little bit more here. Really warming up that spine. Fantastic. All right, couple more on each side. And then we're gonna nice and slow start to bring yourself down to a stop. There you go, fantastic. All right, step your feet just a little bit wider yet. Bring those arms out to the side, slight bend in those knees, and now we're gonna bow forward, windmill across, reaching towards your opposite knee. Squeeze the glutes and stand. Again, long spine, bowing forward. Reaching just a little bit farther each time, starting at the knee, then reach into the shin, and so on, all the way down. Maybe you get to about the ankle. You're fairly flexible in the back of your legs. If it's easy for you to reach the ankle, you can start to reach the outside of the foot. So reaching beyond the foot. Let's get about 2 more each side. Fantastic. We're gonna go into our side stretch next. Walk the feet in just a little bit closer. We're gonna interlace the hands for this one. So interlace those fingers, elongate up out of your hips with a little bend in those knees, taking it to the side. You can even grab onto the wrist on the side you're stretching towards. Back up to center, and same thing other side. Stretching out that side body always feels good. Good job. We're gonna go once more each side. Add a little bit of rotation to it this time. So we'll hold that side bend for a couple of breaths. And then when you're ready, down side shoulder, just try to peer up towards the ceiling or sky if you get to be outside right now. Nice deep breath there, and then unwind. Same thing, other side. Staying strong in the legs. Side bend first. Couple breaths here. And then when you're ready, down side shoulder rotates, peering up towards the ceiling. 1 or 2 breaths there. And then release. Go ahead and step it out. Shake out those arms. Very good. A little side step arm swing action here. All right, we're gonna open up the inner thighs next and go into a crossover toe touch. So if you're a little bit unsteady with this, stand near the wall or something that you can support on. So wide base stance, side lunge. Let's go ahead and bend towards your left side. So we're gonna side lunge, heel down, knee out, kind of lean into it, lean out of it. We're just gonna go to one side first. So lean in towards your left. Very good. You're gonna walk your outside foot over. Take your right foot, cross it in front of your left, and then slide the hands down the legs, reaching down for the toes. Watch not to hyperextend the knees, so just a little bend in the knees, allow the head to be heavy. Couple breaths here into the back of the rib cage. And then when you're ready, go ahead and come on up. Step that right foot out from in front. And we're gonna go about 5 air squats here. Slight toe out, chest tall, sink it back. Very nice. Heels planted. Fantastic. 2 to 3 more. Backing up. And backing up. Fantastic. From here, we're going to balance out the body, taking it to your right side for the side lunge this time. Both feet planted, arms reach out. This is a great time. You can hold on to something as well. If you feel a little unstable here, just sinking out of it, sinking into it. Looking to target that inner thigh. Very nice. Out and in. When you're ready, walk that left foot in. You're going to cross your left foot over the right, and then bowing down. Slide the hands down the legs. Again, a little bend in those knees. Head heavy, and breathe into the back. One more breath here, and then when you're ready, gradually make your way on up. We're going to uncross those feet, and 3 to 5 squats again, working on that depth, sinking the hips back, gripping those toes, keep those heels planted. Fantastic. Nice and smooth. Spectacular. All right, from here, let's go ahead and get out a short band if you have it, or just follow along with me. If you do have the band, I'm going to put it around my legs, and for this option today, I'm going to keep it right below the knees. You know, they've done studies above the knees, below the knees, what activates more muscles. And they've shown that just below the knees on these banded walks gets the most bang for your buck. So we're going to start forward and back. There's a little quarter squat here, and you're going to step from heel to toe, kind of keeping some outward tension on the band. Very good. And then when you're stepping back from toe to heel, forward walk, backward walk, staying engaged in that midsection, right? So we got kind of like a little forward bow here. Anytime you need a break, if it gets tough on your back, just stand tall. Very good. We're going to go about 45 seconds total. It's about another 15, and then we're going to start to take it sideways for a lateral walk. I'm going to add a couple squats into the mix for that. Very good. Making it back towards your start. Go ahead and stand up for a second out of that defensive stance. And then when you're ready, taking it back down, and now we're going to sidestep. 3 to 5. When you get to where you're going to have to change directions, let's go 3 squats, driving your knees out against the band as you squat. Very good. And then we'll take it back. Same thing other side. So kind of holding that little bit defensive stance, chest tall. When I get to the end, 3 squats. Outward tension on the band. Fantastic. I'm going to go one more time, down and back. On that lateral step. Very good. Eyes up, chest up. Breathe and smile. Smooth work. Good job. Waking up those glutes. Final time, taking it back to the start. Wonderful. And final set of squats. Down and up. All right. Very good. Just a short little activation work there. I'm going to go ahead and come off of that band when you're ready. And then next, we're going to go into a quad stretch. So either practice some balance here or grab onto the door. Lifting up out of those hips, grab the foot, pulling the heel towards the glute. Very good. Try to stack that shoulder right over top of the hip, shoulder blade back, eyes looking straight ahead. Fantastic. Nice, smooth breathing. 2, 1. Set that one down, shake it out. Same thing other side. So we don't want these hips kicking out. Lift up through that midline. Grip the toes, grab that foot, and here we go. So again, we're lifting through the midline the whole time. We're trying to avoid this posture here. So nice and level through the hips. Very good. 10 more seconds. you feel a lot of stiffness here, if it's hard to get that heel towards your glute, this is a good one to do several times throughout the day. 2, 1, and release there. Fantastic. All right, we're gonna make our way down to the floor, open the hips just a little bit more, and then we'll get into our first series. So we're gonna walk our way out. Go ahead and come onto the knees for a second, and we're gonna stretch out those forearms, palms down, fingers towards you, and just gently lean back. After you lean back and a little stretch to those forearms, you're gonna rock that body side to side here. Fantastic. From there, you're gonna interlace the fingers, turn the fingers in so they face one another, and now we'll pivot our body around. So just looking for any tension throughout the wrists. Typically when we get stiff in the forearms, that's gonna impact how the wrists can move. Go ahead and switch directions when you're ready. Pivot that body the other way. So we always give some love to those forearms. Fantastic. When you finish those pivots, go ahead and come on off, shake out those wrists for a second. And then we're gonna do one more stretch for those forearms, this time palms up. So I'm gonna hold most of the weight in my legs. Gently place the hands down. Again, I've got palms up facing towards me. And then from here, sometimes just doing that will kind of target that back side of the forearm, or you might think of it as the top from this position. Otherwise, if it's not too intense, just gently lean back. I don't really pivot with this one, just slightly move back and forth. Nothing intense. And when you're ready, go ahead and come off those hands, shake them out one more time, roll them around. Very good. All right, next little bit of stretching to get us prepped for our first piece. I'm gonna do it from a kneeling position. If you've got anything going on, doesn't feel good to kneel, then you can come up and do it from like a stagger stance, okay? But if you're good to be down on the floor, you wanna have that knee stacked straight underneath the hip, front heel planted, shin vertical. We're gonna start by interlacing the fingers, stretch up out of those hips, and then we're gonna lift through the chest and send those hips slightly forward. Forward and back a few times. Squeeze the glute of that trail leg. If it helps you, you can even put your hand there. Squeeze the bum right into your hand. And you can just give a couple little rotations of the torso. Rotating towards that front leg. We're inviting the hip flexor of this trail leg to open and lengthen. Very good. Go ahead and come on down. We're going to switch sides. Same thing, other side. Again, shoulder stacked over the hip, front foot forward. Interlace the hands, stretch straight up. Lift up out of that chest and hips. Squeeze that bum of that trail leg. Gently shift it forward. Eyes up, chest up. Remember, you can put that hand there if it helps you. And then add a couple rotations, rotating towards your lead leg. So I like to breathe in when I'm facing straight on, and then as I pivot, give a little exhale. Breathe in, sink into that hip, and breathe out. Fantastic. All right, one more time back to that first leg. We're gonna add the tricep stretch this time and the side bend. So whichever leg is down, I'm gonna reach that same side arm up. Watch the rib cage, ribs down, bend the elbow. Lengthening through the neck. Reach up, grab that elbow. And you just hold it for a moment. If everything's feeling good, shift into that back hip again, and then taking it to the side. Breathe in to lengthen. Exhale as you side bend. Upwards of 3 to 5 here. Very good. And before we jump to that other side, we're going to shake out those arms for a second. If you're standing, just kind of do the best you can here. Inside elbow on the inside of the lead leg. Slide down the shin and just kind of hover by the instep here, inviting that outer hip to open of your lead leg. And just depending upon what feels good, you can come all the way down to the forearms if that feels good to your body. Just a couple more breaths, and then we'll switch sides. All right, when you're ready, come on up. Same thing, second side. So get in that solid position, and we'll reach straight up. Our arm of the trail leg, you're gonna bend that elbow, ribs down, reach around, tricep stretch, and then you can add the shift of the hips and the side bend, 3 to 5 here. Very good. Fantastic. When you finish those side bends, elbow on the inside of the knee, slide down that instep, hover on, getting a little opening in this outer hip here. Outside hip of the front leg is more often where you'll feel it than not on this stretch, but it just depends. On this side, I'm also feeling a little bit into my low back on that side. Couple more breaths. And release. Fantastic. All right, let's just make our way into down dog, and then we're going to make our way back up to our feet. So place the hands beneath the shoulders, turn those toes under, drive the hips nice and high. Dropping the head between the arms, opening that mid back with some gentle pulses forward and back. Gripping those finger pads down, and then give some love to the calves, walking out the heels. Fantastic. All right, when you finish walking out those heels, walk the feet towards the hand, walk the hands towards the feet. Go ahead and come on up, and let's grab a little bit of water. Our first piece here, we're going to take about 10 minutes, and we're going to go through a couple of extra upper body movements. If we get through about 4 rounds or 10 minutes, whichever one comes first, that will complete our session. As I'm going over this first exercise, I'd like you to do behind the back stretch. Interlace the hands, extend the chest, and feel free if you want to take it into that forward fold. The first exercise is external rotation, and there's 2 options for it. You can use a band. I've got it tied to the chair here. You can also tie it to a doorknob of a door that's closed. For external rotation, I'm going to have the elbow into the side, palm is up, and it's just a nice, oops, I got to hold the chair with the other hand, and I'm rotating out. Externally rotating, elbow stays into the side. Sometimes we'll see people winging those elbows out. You want to imagine you can even put a little block or a pillow there and hold it against the arm. Okay, so that's an option for external rotation. The other option that I'm going to demo is with the dumbbell. From a seated position, elbow on the knee, and we're going to do external rotation just like this. So this is how I'm going to demo it. If you want to use the band, it's there for you. All right, so we're going to go ahead and start now. I'm going to walk you through the first round. You can follow me through the whole thing, or once you've got it down, if you want to just move on your own, please feel free. We're going between 6 and 12 reps, starting nice and light, and whenever you're ready. On this elbow external rotation, I like to support with the non-working hand. I'm going to bring it down to about 90 degrees, but you don't want that shoulder to roll forward. So sometimes if people are a little bit stiff there, it will start to roll forward before 90. Very nice. And coming down with control, 2 to 3 seconds, and then up nice and smooth. Very good. Control and up. I'm going to shoot for about 12 reps. Just depending upon what size weights you have available, you may want to do a little bit less, a little bit more. Ideally, we want to have these reps be nice and smooth without a lot of struggle, especially if it's an exercise you haven't done a whole lot of. All right, a few more here. And then when you are finished with your reps, you're simply going to flip it around, switch sides, same thing, other side. All righty. So, bend the foot in, elbow sets up on the knee, and nice and smooth, down and up. So we just have 2 exercises here in this first piece, this dumbbell or banded external rotation for 6 to 12. And then the next piece is going to be an overhead press from either standing in a stagger stance or from a half kneeling position, which is essentially the lunge position that we just did that Samson stretch in, we call it. Of course, I have no idea what number I'm on. Let's go a few more here, up and down. And go ahead and rotate. All right, typically you can go a little bit heavier in an overhead press than what you're going to use for that external rotation. So feel free to make changes. If you're doing a standing stagger stance, trail leg is where you're going to hold the weight and ribs down. Like I said, I'm going to demo from the floor. So same idea, shoulder stacked right over the hip. Don't want to sway back here. So keep those ribs tucked in. And whenever you're ready, we're going to push straight up and bringing it down. Elbow forward, engaged. Driving up, controlling down. Good. As you're holding strong here, imagine you had like a glass of water sitting on the top of the knee and maybe even on the top of your head. So you want to just imagine, we don't want to spill the water. Want to stay nice and tall. If you'd like, you can put that non-working hand on the front of the rib cage. Remind yourself to stay engaged there. Fantastic. You know, it's fun to give some variety of changes, sometimes focusing on your reps, sometimes focusing on time, except for my challenge of talking and counting. So I'm going to go about one more here and switch sides. Hopefully you're counting for yourself, looking for similar reps on each side. 6 to 12 is the recommendation. If you can get all 12 reps in, and if you have a heavier weight to use, look to go a little bit heavier on the next set. We're approximately 3 minutes into about 10 minutes. Like I said, we're just going to go back and forth, looking to get anywhere between 3, maybe upwards of 4 sets, depending on how smooth we move. Good job. Down and drive. Going up in about 1 second, down in about 2. Couple more here. All right, round 2, I should be better at counting because I'll have less to describe. Fantastic. Feel free if you want to grab a quick drink, and then I'm going to be back for that external rotation. Banded is always an option. I'm going to stick with the dumbbell. All right, elbow right up on the knee, and whenever you're ready, controlling down, up and through. So I tend to give a little bit more focus on training some external rotation for the upper body and shoulders. We tend to already be internally rotated through our upper body. So strengthen that external rotation, help with that positioning of the shoulders. 6. All right, I went a little bit heavier this time. It's starting to slow down on the lift. So I'm going to shoot for about 10 on this round, not quite getting all the way to 12. And when you're ready, make that switch for you. Swinging it around, same thing other side, 6 to 10, 6 to 12. If you find that you have one side that's a little bit more dominant than the other, try to do the side that gives you the bigger challenge first, and then match that number of reps on your more dominant side. So we're looking to kind of give the most attention to the side that we're looking to kind of catch up to the dominant side, and then just maintain the dominant side. Sometimes when we're doing like one-on-ones with people as well, we'll go back to the weaker side and do like an extra set to kind of just give a couple more reps. All right, when you finish that external rotation, either standing stagger stance or that half kneeling overhead press. And maybe you have some kettlebells. You can also press a kettlebell overhead. I'm going to just show that one this time for a little bit of variety. Stack that knee, hip, and shoulder right in a line. With the kettlebell, it just sits on the back of the forearm. Similar setup from there. Thumb in towards the collarbone, ribs down. Imagine that water glass on my top of my thigh and the top of the head. Good intent to lower. Smooth drive to press. Good. So often with weight training, we just focus on the lift, the up portion of the movement. But remember that we also build strength controlling the down portion. That's when you build a lot of strength in the supportive structures of the muscles and the joints. So your tendons. Good, a couple more. Fantastic. All right, switching sides. I'm going to be taking you through a total of 3 rounds here. So this is the end of our second. Ribs down, stacking everything straight up. Think chin in as well, kind of start to lose that posture forward. Activate the muscles in the front of the neck. Elevating that shoulder on that overhead press. Good. I'm also firing the glute of that trail leg just to help stabilize through the hip and all the way through. Fantastic. Last one here. And switch. Good job. Final time. External rotation. And that kneeling overhead press. All right. After this round, we've got some squats coming up next. Squats and bent over or banded rows. 6 to 12 on the external rotation. Not the most exciting exercise, but just some good work for the little accessory muscles. Focusing in on that rotator cuff of the shoulder. Keep those smaller muscles strong, helps the whole joint to function better. All right, I'm gonna go one more here. My reps were slowing down, swinging it around when you're ready. We're wanting to keep that shoulder nice and level. We want to avoid like a forward rotation. Everything smooth. Coming down with control and smooth up. Good. Yeah. A few more. Ooh, all right, that one got slow. Finish out those reps for yourself, and then final round, kneeling or stagger stance overhead press. So coming down, knee straight under the ankle, nice and smooth, ribs in, and whenever you're ready, final round here. Nice. If you're standing, you ideally still want to have the side you're pressing a little bit stagger stance. That foot's going to step back. There you go. Opposite leg. The side you're pressing steps back. That's it. Good job. And switch when you're ready. Nice work. Check in with your setup. Ribs down, fire in that glute, eyes looking straight ahead. Final press. Keep that breathing consistent. Yeah. About 1 up, about 2 down. 3 to 5 more. Perfect timing. There's our 10 minutes on this first circuit. Very good. All right, go ahead and do whatever you need to do to round out that set. Finish out both sides of the body. Now let's grab a short drink. All righty. So we did some squats in the warm-up, but feel free if you want to warm up those squats. Sink them back. You need to come onto the bottom and use the elbows to drive those knees out. Notice I'm staying engaged here, so I'm not just kind of plopping in the bottom. Nice and strong. Drive through those feet and stand. All right, so it's going to be a squat, or if you want more overhead press work, you can make it a thruster. So you can squat up and down, 1 or 2 weights, or no weights. Thruster would include that overhead press. It's going to be 30 seconds of work, 15 seconds to transition. On the transition, you can stay standing. Pull the belly button in, forward bow for the bent over row. Or if you have anything going on with the low back, if you tend to get a little bit fatigued in the low back, you can sit in a chair or down on the floor or on a block, and you could do a seated row with the band. It's going to work similar muscle groups without the demand on the low back. 4 rounds total, 15 seconds between the 2 movements, 30 seconds in between rounds. All right, let me know if there's any questions. Otherwise, we're going to get started here in 20 seconds. If you're ready to go, just kind of roll the ankles around a little bit. 10 seconds till we start. All right. I'll go ahead and demo that thruster for the first couple of rounds. 2, 1, and here we go. Nice and smooth. Full squat. If you want to drive up to overhead, you can include that. Good. And breathe. Breathe in as you sink down. Exhale as you drive up. If you're doing that thruster, why is it called a thruster? Because the idea is to thrust the hips. Give a little drive. Open those hips to give that upward lift. Push smooth to overhead. Okay, one more here. 2, 1, transition. Good job. You can stick with that same weight. I'm going to transition and grab 2 or sit down with that band. Toes pointing straight ahead. Pull the belly button in, bowing forward, and here we go. Look down once you know the movement. Elbow high, elbows rather plural. Breathe in to reach. Exhale on that row. Good job. Give a little bit lighter weights. Pause in the top, hold them in, and then reach forward. Good. Shoulders down out of the ears. Nice long neck to go with the long spine position that we're holding. Even if you're seated, sit tall. Keep that spine long there. 2, 1, and transition. Good job. We'll take 30 seconds. Grab a little drink. Time to make any adjustments, and then we're back to our squats. Nice and simple. 2 movements, back and forth. Simple and effective. All right. And 3, 2, 1. Squats, thrusters if you'd like. I'm holding that single kettlebell this time. We call it a goblet thruster when we hold one weight with both hands. Holding on, driving up. Good. And depending upon your experience, if you want to move a little bit faster or move with control. Even if you are moving faster, like to avoid kind of a bounce in the bottom. Good, couple more. 2, 1, transition. Nice job, shake it out, bent over row or seated row with your band. Second half of round 2. Toes pointing straight ahead. Find that neutral pelvis, bow forward, here we go. So I can still hold on to my kettlebell with 2 hands as well, call it a goblet row. Challenges the grip a little bit more because it's a wider object to hold on to. Breathe in, exhale on the row. Squeeze those lower shoulder blades together. Fantastic. Strong in those legs, holding tight in the midline. One more. 2, 1, and release. Good job. Come on up, shake it out. 30 seconds rest. Then we'll be into set 3 already. All righty. Fantastic. Second to last set of squats or thrusters. I'm going to go uneven weights this time, and I'll just balance it out between the last 2 rounds. Set the feet, 2, 1, and begin. Sinking down, drive it up. Good. So depending upon your equipment that you have available, you can get creative. If you don't have the matches of all the weights, that's okay. Challenge your body. Use uneven weights, and then just balance it out round to round. 10 seconds. Good job. Driving those hips, ribs down, midline strong. 2, 1, transition. Bend over row or seated row with band. Good job. Toes pointing straight ahead, ribs down, midline strong. 2, 1, here we go. Reach forward, squeeze it in. Nice. Tuck that chin in, looking straight down, nice neutral head position. We've got those muscles in the front of the neck. We want to keep those strong as well. Avoid that forward head carriage posture you see. 10 seconds. Keeping those shoulders down out of the ears as you row. 2, 1, and rest. Woo! Hello, hamstrings. All right, that's 3. One more set to go. We've got lunges and some dips in the last circuit. All right, if you happen to hold uneven weights, make sure you change up what weight arm was holding what. Going in 5. Set the feet for the squat. 2, 1, and begin. Sinking back. Breathe through it. Fantastic. Keep those eyes up, looking straight ahead. Smile through the burn. Let your mind and body know you're okay. Couple more. 2, 1, and final rotation for that bent over row. Woo. Nice job. All right, set the feet, midline strong, 2, 1, and begin. Good job. Sitting tall, seated or bent over. Very good. Yep, reaching forward, pull it in and pause. There you go. 10 seconds. 2, 1, and all done there. Woo, woo, shake it out. Grab some water. All right, as I mentioned, final circuit. I'll kind of walk you through the first round. We're gonna do a total of 4. I'm gonna do just a little bit of warm-up sets here for the lunges. But we're gonna lunge or skier step, dip, and we'll lunge on the opposite leg. And then your choice, either a push-up. If you need to take a break off your arms, you can go forearm plank. Or if you really need a full break off the arms, sit up. I'm gonna be doing the dip and the push-up. So let's go ahead, come on up. We wanna wake up the hips just a little bit before we jump into it. So start with your left foot forward. You're gonna step your right foot back, reach your right hand forward. And skier step's not gonna be a full lunge. You're just gonna step through, bring the knee high, opposite arm swings back. Step back and swing through. Good. On that step back, heel planted, shin vertical on that front leg. Good, just about 5 on each leg here. Very nice. One more. And switch sides. Same thing, other side. So when you step your left back, left starts forward with the arm, and then swing through. Good job. Long step back. So this is the scale. If you don't quite feel ready for the full lunge, call it like a reverse giant step or skier step into that high knee. Good. Go ahead and rest that. Fantastic. So either that or I'll be doing the full lunge, and we'll talk you through the dips when we get there. 30 seconds of each movement, about 15 seconds in between. Go ahead and follow along. I'm going to go unweighted on the first round. So your choice if you want to start with weights. All right, so we're going to start with your left foot forward. And 3, 2, 1. Here we go. So you can go full lunge if you'd like. Swing through. Yep. Back and down. Eyes up, chest up. Fantastic. There you go. Hips nice and level. And if you are bringing that knee down, just lightly kiss that kneecap to the floor. Good. That's 20 seconds, 10 to go. Whew, hello, balance. Maybe one more, 2, 1, and transition. Good job. Dips are next. Make your way to your chair, your bench, shoulder blades back and down. Place the hands, start with the knees bent. 2, 1, and nice and controlled. Lowering down, lift the chest to the top. Squeeze and breathe. If you want to add that hip bridge, you can bridge those hips up and forward, all the way down. Squeeze the bum if you do bridge the hips. Slows down the tempo just a little bit. Gives a little extra work on the glutes. Takes a little extra pressure off the arms. Couple more. Control down, lift. 2, 1, and transition. Good job. Back to the legs. You're going to have the right foot forward this time on the lunges. Place that foot. 2, 1, and here we go. So my left foot steps back. Nice. Back and down, up and forward. Beautiful. Moving with control. Woo. Balance check for me. Grip those toes, eyes up, chest up. Smooth. Halfway through. There you go, good. As you drive that knee, lift the foot and toes as well. 2, 1, and transition. Good job. This is where you have the choice. Push-ups, sit-ups, or plank on the forearms. I'm going to demo the push-up. Placing those hands down, nice wide handprint. And 2, 1, here we go. So I'm going to show the version coming down on the toes, up on the knees. Midline nice and tight. Avoid winging those elbows wide. Good job. Those of you choosing that forearm plank, you can hold just a straight plank, or if you want to step your feet side to side, you can move the feet back and forth as well. Very good. Maybe 1 more, 2, 1, and transition. Beautiful. Let's go do a little down dog on your way up. That's a total set 1. We're going to take 30 seconds, and then we'll be into set 2. Woo! All right, 15 seconds till we go. I'm going to add some weights this time on the lunges. We're going to start with the left foot forward. So right foot will be stepping back. Going in 5. Nice tall chest. 2, 1, and begin. Controlling the knee down if you're going all the way to the floor. Driving that knee up and forward. Good. Grip the toes of that front foot. Activating that arch. I kind of like to try to check in, give some notice to where my belly button is. So especially as I'm coming out of the lunge, I want to think about keeping that belly button right underneath my shoulders so I don't drop that chest down. Good. 2, 1, transition, dips. Dippity dip next. If anything's going on, dips don't feel good, you can always do an overhead tricep extension. Gonna work a similar muscle group. Otherwise, 2, 1, here we go. Keeping the knees bent or extending the legs out for more of a challenge. So if my legs are straight, it's gonna be more load on that upper body. Elbows stay in, squeeze at the top. Nice broad chest position. Option of the hip drive. Good, 1 to 2 more. And rotate, walk it in, step it up. Back to those lunges. Right leg forward on this one. Woo. All righty. 2, 1, and begin. Left foot back and down. Eyes up, chest up. Good. Oops, I forgot my high knee. Thank you for those of you who reminded me. I went into that regular lunge. Good, over halfway. Very nice, keeping those hips nice and level. And rotate, fantastic. Into set 2, push-ups, forearm plank, or sit-ups. All the options. I'm sticking with push-ups, nice wide handprint. 2, 1, here we go, midline tight. Shoulders back and down, not letting those hips drop. And ideally we want full range of motion, chest all the way to the deck. As you need, please come up on the knees. Try to avoid that worming position off the ground. So I think about kind of lifting my hips up, squeezing the lower body, and then pushing through with the upper body. And 2, 1, transition, 30 seconds. We'll be into set 3. Woo. All right. We were kind of planning 4, but all this take a little bit longer than expected. So this is gonna be our last round coming up. Give us time for a good cool down stretch. All right, going in 10. Left foot forward on your lunges. And 3, 2, 1, begin. Back and down, up and forward. Into that high knee, there we go, good. Hips level, controlling that descent. Good, 10 seconds left. Wonderful job. Woo, find the balance. Let's get one more. And rotate, dippity dip to the bench. Shoulders back and down. Feet straight or bent. 3, 2, 1. Here we go. Eyes looking straight ahead. Option of that glute bridge. If you want to bridge the hips at the top. Fantastic. Halfway through. There you go. Couple more. And 2, 1. Transition. Final set of lunges. Right foot forward, left foot steps back. 2, 1. When you're ready, back and down, controlling that knee. Swing the leg through. Fantastic. Control down, drive it up. There we go. Halfway. Try not to rush it. Couple more. And rest. Good job. Final little bit. Push-ups, planks, or sit-ups. You get there and you're ready, go ahead and start. Otherwise, 30 seconds starts in 2, 1, and here we go. Hips level. Midline engaged. Fire in that lower body too, holding that nice solid plank. Good, halfway. We think of that push-up as an upper body, but it's a lot of midline as well. Glutes are still firing. 2, 1, and we're done. Woo, let's stay down here, folks. If your water bottle's nearby, feel free to grab a drink. Otherwise, child's position. Toes together, knees divide. Walk those arms out and sink it back. Good job. Lower the head down. And guess what? Breathe into the back of the rib cage, trying to expand the back side of your lungs. Very good. Let's go into the side stretch here. You're going to walk the hands to your right side. Take your left arm, reach it nice and long, and sink back from there. Try to peer underneath that left shoulder. Good. Smooth breathing, bringing the heart rate down. When you're ready, same thing other side. Walk it around. Right arm reaches out long, and stretch it back from there. Looking underneath that right shoulder. Very good. A couple more breaths. We're going to go into the thread the needle stretch next in the upper body. So coming on up. Actually, let's stretch out the low back a little bit first. Walk the knees in. Quadruped hip rock. Rocking the hips side to side. Give that low back a little relief. Especially after those bent over rows. Stretch out those hips again after the lunges. Ooh, just a little pop. Feels nice. All right, once you've loosened the hips and low back a little bit, you can walk the knees back up, or back out rather. Hands with the shoulders. Pick a side, turn the palm up, and slide that hand under nice and slow, lowering that shoulder down. And then you can walk the other arm over your head. Some people like to take it behind the back. If you know, move there, feel free. Otherwise, good time to relax those eyes closed. Focus in on the breath. Fantastic. When you're ready, coming out of that side, same thing on the opposite side. Palm up, nice and smooth, sliding under. Walking that top hand around. Close the eyes and breathe. All of this should be a nice gradual opening. If you find yourself in pain or wincing, back out of it. Very good. When you're ready, come out of this, and we're going to make our way onto our backs. Something in my eye. Just go ahead and roll it over onto your back. Nice and slow, bringing yourself down. And we're going to start knees up and together, arms out to the side. Let's bring the legs across the body, a little two-knee twist, looking over that opposite shoulder. Nice and smooth. And when you're ready, up and across, same thing, other side. Turn the head, other shoulder. And 2 to 3 times each side here, just whatever feels good for you. From the two-knee twist, we're going to come onto our side, stretch out our quads. So once you finish that twist, go ahead and come on to the side. Go ahead and stay on an outstretched arm or prop up on your elbow, top leg. Grab that knee, pulling it back. We're going to hold about 30 seconds here. Feel free if you want to continue to close the eyes. Might be a little bit more stiff now, or maybe you're a little bit looser than you were when you started class. Everyone responds a little bit differently. Good, about 10 more seconds. And go ahead and release. Good job. Swing it around. Same thing, other side. Feels good to lie down and stretch. Just rest the body for a moment. As we say, oh, we'll do it later. Doesn't always happen. So just do it now. And then just try to notice your body later on. If you're starting to notice any stiffness, you know, where are you feeling stiff? What can you do to lengthen out that area? What stretches would lengthen and help relax any areas of stiffness? Not just going for a walk. Getting some good blood flow is excellent as well for recovery. 2, 1, and release. Final bit, we're going to come up back onto our backs and give some love to those hips with a glute stretch and figure 4. So we'll start with the glute. Extend your right leg with the left knee bent. Pull that knee towards the same side, elbow, shoulder to start. We'll give a little love to the ankle. Kind of open up the inner thigh here. I'm actively pushing my right thigh down, pulling my left knee to the left shoulder. Switch directions of that ankle roll. And then when you're ready, you can use your right hand. Gently pull the left knee across the body, looking to move the stretch into the outer hip area. You can either hold it static here if you find one good spot to lengthen, or you can start to glide the leg up and down a little bit, just looking for any stiff areas. Gliding it down, gliding it up. Our hip's a ball and socket joint, so we want to keep that slide and glide to have it functioning well. All right, when that seemed to have relaxed, let's switch sides. Actively pushing that left thigh down, right knee starting with bringing it to the right shoulder, and ankle rolls on this leg. Very nice. 3 to 5. Reversing directions. And then sliding it across, pull that right knee across the left shoulder. And again, either a static stretch here, holding it stationary, or just nice and smooth, looking for any stiff areas. Using your left hand to kind of glide that knee up and down a bit. Very good. When you're ready, we're going to release that side. And now the final one, figure 4, left foot to the right thigh. Hug that right leg into the chest. And we're going to give about 45 seconds or so of tension, not tension, trying to reduce tension. Start with about the first 15 seconds just to invite that side to lengthen and open, opening up this outer left hip. Good, and then when you're ready, we'll extend the right leg. Add some hamstring motion into it, point the toe away. Pull the foot and toes back towards your face, and then bend that knee down and in. You got that big nerve called your sciatic nerve that comes out of the back of the hip, slides, lives down the back of the leg. It has some different branches and stuff. So we want to keep that nerve moving. It's meant to slide past the tissues and the fascia that wraps up your muscles. Sometimes those nerves get stuck in there. Last one, bend it down, extending it up. So it's our job to invite it to keep moving. Body workers are good with that as well. Go ahead and release. Sometimes they have body workers that are like nerve entrapment specialists, so they help to release the nerves along their track. All right, same thing other side. Again, about first 15 seconds or so, just holding it in. But there's a lot we can do for our own bodies on our own as well. If we just expand our awareness, give some consistent love to the body, stretching, strengthening. When you're ready, left leg, extending it straight up. Point the foot and the toes, lift the foot and toes, and then bend that knee down and in. We'll take about 30 seconds here. When you bend it in, hug that leg in. Still want to give attention to that outer right hip. And if you notice one area more than the other having a little bit of tension, so on this side, when I pull those toes back towards my face, I can really feel it in the back of my calf on that left leg. So I'm holding that for just an extra little moment, give it a little bit more time to try to loosen. And last one, fantastic. Go ahead and release there. Anything else that you'd like? Happy baby. If you want to work your way into plow, bringing the feet up over the head, you know, whatever might feel appropriate for your body. Stretching out that low back a little bit more, or simply just lying on your back, setting those shoulder blades, turn your palms up to the ceiling and just spending a couple minutes here in Shavasana or corpse. Great time to kind of reset. You can kind of think about your intentions for the rest of the day or the evening, depending upon where it is in your neck of the woods. And just thank you. Thank yourself for showing up, taking care of your body, strengthening yourself. Hopefully having a little bit of enjoyment along the way. Stay hydrated. We'll look to see you next time.